I sold the Chevy Trax yesterday. Today we're talking dealership life, right? It's the videos I enjoy making. It seems to be the videos that you guys enjoy watching. So I want to talk a little bit about how I actually create and make these videos. You know, I'm a one-man show. I'm a guy walking around with a GoPro during his full-time job, trying to create a story or an experience about how my day goes while my day is going without actually knowing where it's going. You know, it's kind of like writing a book. It's like kind of like writing the end of the book first without knowing the ending. And the challenge with that is a lot of times as I'm going throughout my day, I have a lot of missed opportunities. You know, like I don't start filming and then a whole bunch of stuff starts happening. And by the end of the day, I wish I was walking around with the camera. One of those missed opportunity days was yesterday. You see, yesterday would have been a perfect day for a dealership life vlog because I actually sold 4 cars, which is a great day. You know, in the auto industry, I only had actually 1 appointment set up. Other than that, everything else just kind of happened as the day unraveled. The first vehicle I sold was this 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe, premier model, very hard to get. Truck looks awesome in the dark ash metallic. It does have the 22-inch polished wheels. It has the panoramic sunroof, the second row bucket seats. This truck even has the power center console, which is an option that was on constraint for a long time throughout the year. It's a great looking vehicle, and I actually really also like on the rear end of the vehicle, you have the quad tip dual exhaust. I think it sets it apart from the rest of the Tahoes. I really like that small but nice feature. Now let's talk about how I actually got in front of this client and how I sold this vehicle. I got a phone call from our fellow salesperson, Ed, Crazy Eddie. You may know him, you've seen him in a couple videos. He called me up, he was off yesterday, and he said he had a referral from one of his other clients for someone who's interested in a Tahoe. So he got on the phone, he started texting and calling back and forth, and basically set up an appointment for me because he couldn't come into the store and the customer was pretty anxious to come in, knowing that availability of these vehicles is very difficult right now. So he set up the appointment. I met with the client once they came in. I showed him the vehicle. I got him on a test drive. Now with Ed and I, we work very well together. We've been co-workers for a number of years now. We basically try to put the customer first. You know, let's make the experience as easy as possible for the customer. If the customer wants to buy the car right now while I'm here and Ed's not here, well, we'll just split the deal. That's exactly what happened. Then we get into the politics of how we actually want to split the deal. So technically I wrote this deal, so I am on the front end of the deal, which means I get the first half. Now I say first half because whoever the car is reported to with General Motors, it goes towards their General Motors bonus for the month. It goes towards their OnStar, their survey, you know, all those sorts of things. So I'm technically first on this car, I'll get the benefit of those things. Now we also split the deal as far as a unit with our dealership, you know, our dealership bonuses and that sort of thing. So you basically have a half a deal, and then we split whatever commission is made. Now the side deals that we sometimes make, which I actually prefer, and Ed prefers in his case as well, is he says, listen, you did all the work, take the whole unit. You take the whole unit towards GM. Of course you have to because you can't split that. You take the whole unit towards our dealership goals and just pay me half the commission in cash. So once we know what the commission is, we basically subtract the taxable amount to that because I'm going to pay taxes on the full amount. So we'll subtract that, divide it by 2, and I'll give him cash for half a deal, which really he did nothing on other than get a referral and a couple texts and a couple phone calls back and forth. Now, had Ed come in yesterday to take care of the customer, he would have got the whole deal and I would have got nothing. So to me, it's like I get the benefit of a half a deal I normally would not have got. To him, he got a half a deal for something he really didn't do any work for. So that whole first sequence that you just watched, I just filmed while I was waiting for my Tahoe customer to show up. Now he should be here any minute. We'll get that delivery on the road, and then we'll start the second portion of the video, which is going to be about the Equinox that I sold. It is crazy. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. My customer in a Tahoe just left, got completely held up because of the insurance. It's a big, long story. I'm gonna explain it in a future video. It's actually very, very funny because this morning I'm driving to work and I'm thinking of video ideas, and I wanna make a video about Day of Dave. That's my nickname here with one of the finance managers, Day of Dave, because I generally do everything I need to do the day of, and it drives him nuts. But we're gonna talk about that in a future video. The funny thing is I was thinking about that and making a video about that topic on my drive in this morning, and sure enough today, the exact reason happens, why I'm called Day of Dave actually happened. So it was pretty funny. We'll talk about that in a future video. Right now, here, car number 2 that I sold yesterday, 2022 Chevrolet Equinox LT with confidence and convenience. This was a referral to me from one of our service writers. He was scheduling an appointment with a customer who wanted to get oil change and tire rotation stuff on her Chevy Trax. However, she only had 1 month left on the lease. So he said, listen, rather than paying for the service and getting this done, why don't you come in, look at a new vehicle, maybe you put yourself into something new to replace that lease, and you don't have to actually get the service done. The car's just gonna get dropped off. That's exactly what we're doing. She's actually gonna come back next Tuesday to pick up this Equinox. We'll get it delivered to her, and we'll take the Trax in off lease. She didn't have to pay for the service. However, because she's going up to a more equipped vehicle, more expensive vehicle, and we're in today's times, the lease is actually about $100 a month more than what she was used to paying, but she said that's well within her budget. The third vehicle I sold, this 2019 Chevrolet Equinox Premier. This has just over 20,000 miles. It's like 20,021 miles on it. This was a phone up. So somebody saw this vehicle online. Now on the internet, we didn't have any pictures of this vehicle yet because it's currently in the process of certification, reconditioning. So he liked the mileage, he liked the price, he liked the equipment in the vehicle. Didn't see any photos, but knew that it was one that he'd be looking at. I spoke to him in the morning. He said he was shopping around. He was looking at some other ones as well. He then called me back probably about 4 or 5 hours later towards the end of the day and said he wants to move on this one. At that point, I did take a couple pictures. I sent them over to him. I told him it's in our body shop because we are actually fixing this little bit of damage here. If you look at the hood, you can see it's a little bubbling under the paint here. Now it's on the surface of the hood there. It's not necessarily too bad underneath. It may not even show up on camera, but in any event, being this is a certified car and we stand behind our vehicles, we are taking care of that. So once we get that done, he'll come down and take delivery. I'm thinking this one we may be able to get on the road on Tuesday as well. The fourth car I sold is the 2020 Chevrolet Trax LT here, all-wheel drive in Summit White. This vehicle was not really a referral to me, but I sold her sister, I sold her aunt numerous cars, so it was time for her to need a vehicle. So she just said, you know what, I'm gonna call up Dave B and see what they got. She actually found this on the website, picked this car out right from there. We put the whole deal together over the phone. She emailed over, you know, the stuff we need, the driver's license, the insurance card. We did a credit application on our website. So we basically have everything put together. She hasn't been here physically yet. Actually, I've never even met her. I've only met her sister and her aunt. But once we get everything set up, she'll come down and take delivery. And that's how we're doing a lot of these deals. The Tahoe and the blue Equinox were customers that were physically here in the showroom. This white Trax and that silver Equinox that was in the back by the body shop were both done over the phone. You know, so it looks like it's slow at the dealership a lot. It looks like we're very quiet at the dealership, but a lot of these deals, probably 50% of them, are being done over the phone, you know, over the phone and with email. So a lot of the stuff and a lot of the practices we put into place during the pandemic are actually continuing. It's like people are used to just doing most things, I wanted to say virtually, but virtually. You know, you're doing things through email and phone, and then all you have to do is come down here the day you want to take the car. Hey, Ed, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I don't know if you watch these videos on YouTube, but I've watched a lot of videos where it talks about like the auto industry and how things are collapsing and the sky is falling, and you know all the horrors of the auto industry. What do you see on the ground at your desk here at Schumacher Chevrolet of Livingston?
Opportunity. We don't have much inventory, but we're a good team and a good staff, and we try to help people get into vehicles. We're more brokers than salesmen now, but that's why they call me Crazy Eddie, because I try to help consumers navigate this sketchy market. And will it get better? Little by little, but this is kind of the new norm, folks. Keep watching Dave sells Chevys. What is it? Dave B sells Chevy.
Now let me ask you this: how is the industry now as far as sales compared to like 3 years ago? Are you still surviving?
Sure, absolutely. It's just a different kind of survival. Now it's survival of the fittest, but no, not really. Really, we do survive. You're doing this long enough, you learn to adapt. And we've all been doing this quite a while, and we learn to adapt, which is why we're so focused on the Chevrolet Bolt and the electrification coming our way. We want to be ready, and we want to be the top-selling dealer in the Northeast for electric cars. And all you have to do is just ask our other teammate, Mr. Dave Friedman, because he's got the monopoly on all the inbound ordered bolts. Jerk bag. Oh, There he is.
So I was just talking to Eddie. He called you a jerkbag. What I was asking Eddie was what he thinks of the industry currently in sales, because a lot of these YouTube videos you see is that the sky's falling and that the industry's crumbling and dealerships are not going to survive, and just all the horrors of the industry. But is that really true, and is that what you're seeing at your desk here at Schumacher Chevrolet of Livingston?
No, I think like anybody else, everybody in this world adapts to change one way or the other, whether they do it willingly or whether they're forced to do it. We accept what comes about and we move forward. So whether the industry itself is going through difficulties because of microchip shortages, whether it's due to supply chain issues, whether there's market adjustments, whatever the case may be, everybody adapts and moves forward. And it's not solely the auto industry that's having difficulties in these areas. I was on the phone with somebody talking today who is a contractor. Getting supplies for construction, difficult. You want to get anything as far as appliances, difficult. Waiting lists, so on.
So as you can hear from us on the ground floor, things aren't all that bad. We're still selling cars. We're still surviving, we're paying bills, we're making money, we're doing what we gotta do, and we're adapting, like both of these guys just said. So what I suggest you do is subscribe to the channel, because right here you have—
What he suggests you do is subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, I had to say it twice because the first time I messed
I know
up.
that.
To the channel, that's what we're saying. Subscribe to the channel.
All right, so we're gonna—
Dave B. sells Chevy.
Forget it.
Subscribe to the channel, because on this channel you have a front row seat to either the automotive industry or to the end of an industry. We don't know, but we'll keep you updated here with Dave B. Sells Chevy.